The Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 1. Thoughts? This episode is called Seed. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be. And there will be spoilers for this episode, as well as all the ones leading up to it. And yeah, I love all of these episodes. Let's dive right in. So this was yet another, they are 3 for 3, fantastic season opener. I really love how we see certain things have changed since the Season 2 finale. Everyone is 100%, working as a team. Everyone's killing zombies. They've made some, homemade silencers or suppressors for the guns, which is a good solution for, it was a good idea to use, other weapons, but there are times where if you're dealing with a zombie, a gun would be good. It really is just, it's the noise and the ammo, scarcity that are the issue, and yeah, as long as they don't overuse them, the suppressor will do a lot. It's very clear, now that Shane is not there as a voice of dissent. Under Rick's leadership, the group are doing pretty well under the circumstances. And yeah, we see, they go into, that was a fantastic opening shot, the camera pulling out from the eye. We see them go into this, little house, not on the prairie, and, scavenge, complete with, was that like an owl? I think, yeah. And they don't get an awful lot out of the place, possibly not as much as not necessarily enough to justify the bullets they needed to use, but no way to know that before you're already. But they do get a little bit of stuff, and Carl, thinking, oh, it's technically food, and yeah, that. Everyone in the room was like, are we really going to eat that? And then Rick is like, no, we're not. Poor Carl, he is just trying to help, And yeah, not too long after, they discover the prison that we, the audience, saw at the very, very end. I think it was the final shot of Season 2. And yeah, it does look like a much safer place than any of the, they're not even able to stay in the house for very long. And yeah, they do, it's a fight to get in there, but again, we're really seeing like everyone is chipping in, bashing in brains, and let's see, the right, I appreciate it's been several months, so now the baby bump is very visible. And yeah, once they're in, I like the thing with, Carol, she's become a good shot, we're told, and, considering that was the shot that, like, practically at Rick's feet, was that like a, you better watch yourself, young man, don't boss me around too much or something, I don't know. Even the best of shots might miss every so often. And she did apologize, which, I've learned from playing, online zombie shooters. It's just good form when there's friendly fire. And let's see, afterwards she's like, my shoulder, the kickback, and yeah, Daryl has some experience with this sort of thing, so he rubs her shoulder a little. And she starts playfully flirting with him. That was, yeah, is really funny how uncomfortable he was with that. And am I remembering the line right? I think he said, I gotta go down first. He has to get off the vehicle, and then she's like, ooh, even better. And he's like, stop. I really, really like the two of them together. Let's see, and what was the other thing? Yeah, I appreciate that there is still, it's been months, and Rick went back to the, he wrote the book on not communicating enough with your partner. Then he went back and reread it, revised it. He's doing the audiobook now, so he's much too busy to talk to Lori. And she understandably wishes that he would. And let's see, right, even Carl is running around, running and gunning. Yeah. Let's see, and he's pretty good at it. Like he's gotten much, like he panicked in season 2, and the walker eventually got loose and killed Carl. Yeah, like they spent some time off screen, practicing, and it is the kind of thing that you can, if you picture yourself in danger, let yourself feel the fear, and then there's stuff you can do to calm yourself back down, and then you'll see, oh, I can actually do this, and over time, that is something that is practiced in the real world. Now, let's see that. Yeah, they managed to secure the area with the cells, and I like the detail that Daryl ain't sleeping in no cage, so he's staying up at that other spot. Yeah, I forget if had he been in jail too. Certainly, I cannot believe. Okay, that will not stand. I swear, Merle. We know Merle had been in jail or juvie or both, something like that. So I could imagine that Daryl had as well. And in general, just, the idea of, like, he would feel confined, which is fairly reasonable given the circumstance. Then we have, hold on, gotta make sure it's, yeah, Glenn checks for scratches. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Right, it was really, really sweet. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can Beth, that's right, singing, and then Maggie joins in. That was a really great. Let's see, and I think that might just about get us to, the last chunk of the episode with them fighting their way. At first they're just scouting. Really reminded me of playing Contagion, specifically Roanoke PD, that level. That's not a bad thing. And, the very clever with spraying to the arrow to make sure they can find their way back. They don't have breadcrumbs to waste, after all. And, after a while, they get into a spot that there's just too many of them. Sid, they gotta go back, and then there's some back there as well, because there are so many, different hallways, so just, and Herschel, being bitten, and them having to amputate with no anesthetic, or anesthesia for that matter. Just, really, really brutal. Right, that was also a thing. Holy crap. The scene between Herschel and Lori with the thing of, like, the baby is infected. What if it dies? What if it's gonna eat its way out the stomach? What if she dies and attacks it, in childbirth? Just, really, really upsetting things to think about. And they would come up in that circumstance, and and to think this came out before Roe v. Wade was overturned, like years and years before, and even back then, like, escalated by a zombie apocalypse, but pregnancy can be scary, even in the and Republicans like to make it worse. That does leave us with Michonne, if that's how you pronounce. Yeah. See, I put F. The actress name is Denai Gurira. I made sure to look that up, and then I go and say the character's name before I'm sure I know how to pronounce that. I mean, it's less insulting because the character is fictional, but Denai Gurira's character, great to get a good look at her. Love her performance. That was one of the reasons that I knew I eventually had to watch the show, was watching Black Panther. It's just like, yeah, I gotta see more that Denai Gurira plays. Yeah, acts in. And yeah, not disappointed. Complete badass with the sword and the two, she still has the two zombie slave, yeah. Let's see, and yeah, her and Andrea was quite good, and yeah, Andrea being like, I'll only slow you down. This is not, just, yeah, genuinely really tense. And let's see, yeah, and I like the, at first, like, Denai's character actually is like, oh, Andrea isn't where I thought she was gonna be. Did a walker come and attack? Better be ready, kind of, just, yeah. And yeah, also is her running, like, we just barely perceive her. The walkers perceive her and turn, and then, chops off the head, and one of the heads is just lying there still, like, barely alive. And she, she could just walk off because she doesn't need to return to there. She just leaves the thing. Yeah. And the very ending of the episode, like, I appreciate that they got to that even here in the season opener, because, yeah, the prison, like, it makes a lot of sense that someone else would try to make it their home. It's too good of a place for no one to use, to already be using or be trying to use. But yeah, and I quite appreciate, we don't really know how this is going to go, because we don't get a good set. We just see, like, there's half a dozen guys there or something, so like, for sure it's not, they're going to have to try to find some kind of common ground. Well, they should be able to have common ground if they are able to trust, if they feel like they can trust each other. But yeah, like, if there was just one, well, maybe they can overpower that person, but there's, yeah, the numbers, the math isn't mathing. But we also don't, yeah, we spend so little time with them that we don't quite know, could they be, like, looking to scavenge people, or, I mean, obviously food and such could be an issue, but beyond that, there could be safety in numbers, and they can point out, Herschel here is a vet. You need a doctor? We got a doctor to nurse you back to health.